JP, and I just got back from the Erie Comicon with a stack of books. Check out the footage and we'll talk about what I picked up.
Another one? And I have some out in the car. Yes, I have. I want to get
Okay, so this stack of comics was not what I picked up at the show. This is a stack I brought to sell or trade. Now, I went to Erie Comicon. It's not as big as the Comic-Con that's in Pittsburgh. It's not as big as anywhere near the size of Baltimore, which was happening this weekend. It's sort of a smaller show. It's a pop culture show. Toys are there. Pokemon. Someone selling chocolate. Someone selling. Artists are there, so it's pretty much a pop culture show. So this time the dealers were more than previous than I've seen. So I've been to these shows where you have like 5 to 6 dealers tops when it comes to comics. This time it was probably 15, so that was pretty good. But none of them seemed in the greatest mood. A toy guy I've done some deals with in the past seemed pretty down. I walked up, I thought I had some cool toys, especially given some of the popular toys as of recent, like Barbie and whatnot. No takers on that. So I spent a lot of time walking around from one dealer to the other with the toys I had and with the comics I had, trying to work some deal out. I finally was able to go back to a guy and sell the toys I had. Now again, let me just start again. I got there on Friday, which was opening day. I got there at 5 o'clock. It closed at 7. I had 2 hours. Due to other scheduling things this weekend, I could not make it to the show again. So I had 2 hours to try to find the comics I wanted and trade or sell what I had. So my goal there was to find a Superman 233, maybe a bigger book, somewhere in the 1,000 range. I did bring a couple bigger books to trade for that, if possible. And just try to find some things to finish my Spectacular Spider-Man run with. I have 4 books I need for that. And like I said, anything what catches my eye at a show. So when I'm there, my goal is to trade or sell as much as I can to buy the things I really want. So most of the books I have were found at antique stores, flea markets, trades, whatever, that I'm trying to move on for the things I actually do want. So nothing wrong with these books. They're just not my cup of tea, or ones that I don't really want to keep in my collection. I'd be happy to trade them off. Not a whole lot of takers. Some interested, but I keep hearing I have that. So able to sell off the toys, and with that sale I was able to go back to to a guy, and I got 3 books. Now this one from the guy who offered me $100 for the whole stack, which I thought was ludicrous. This whole stack of books he wanted $100 for. We didn't work anything out, but I was able to get this Nightmare on Elm Street #1. This is not the first appearance of Freddy Krueger in comics, but I just thought it looked like a Frazetta cover. I know it's not, but I just thought it had a great painted look to it. I like the cover. It's great for this time of year with Halloween coming up. So happy to have that one for $10. That's probably what it's worth. So no great deal there. But again, they inflate the price of the books when they're dealers there, and then they give you half the cost or half the value to buy your books. So it's kind of a, I know they have fees to be there, but it's kind of a, you're kind of nuts to go there and do any trading unless you have tons of margin on these books, because you're overpaying or getting what it's not worth, what you could get on eBay for them. But it's kind of a fast way to move books if you want to buy some things. So anyway, so the next dealer, I went back over to see him before they closed up, and we were able to make a deal for 2 books. We got a Bloodstone #1, and we got a Amazing Spider-Man #98. Nice Green Goblin appearance on the cover. It's a cool cover. So I'm not a fan of, becoming more of a fan of these horror type books. And with the Werewolf by Night success and what may come about with Blade, this book was hot last year. It's fallen off the wayside. Maybe it'll come back with Halloween coming up soon. But it's cool to have a first appearance. And with you know, my friends Mike from Lunch Money and Rohan, we've been doing a challenge for first appearances. So if I can get a cheap first appearance, I don't know if he's part of Series 3 cards, which will be our next YouTube video, with using the Series 3 cards to come up with first appearance and tally those numbers. But what the heck, hopefully 2 reasons to get this book: 1, just to spec on it, and 2, to win that try to win that little contest. But Spider-Man '98, love to have the first 100, love to have the first 300. Not sure if it's as plausible or in the wheelhouse right now to have the top 10, but over time I may pick up nice cool covers like this if I can find them fairly cheap. And I don't really trade my Spider-Man books, I keep them all. So I'll add these slowly to my collection and try to get those top 100, if not top 300. Doing that right now with Spectacular Spider-Man, 4 away from that one. But when I do find a cool cover like this, I'm going to pick it up for the price. So I think in all was $50 for these 2 books. So tell me your thoughts on 50 for these 2 and 10 for the Nightmare on Elm Street. And let me know if you think that you would have sold this stack of books for $100. So you got Tick #1. We got Sergeant Fury with Hitler on the cover. We got a Star Wars appearance #2. That's the reprint. We have Batman, second Ivy, Poison Ivy. We got first appearance of The Question. We got a Lone Ranger book from the 60s. We got a Disney Scarecrow book. So just there itself. Also got a Captain Britain appearance, first appearance in the US. I now have 2 of those books. We have a first appearance of the Shadow Master from DC Showcase. So again, you know, these books are worth way more than 100, but that's just how these dealers roll. So tell me your thoughts. I did say that I brought some bigger books to trade, and if you check out this video, this guy, we'll just call him Joe, he called me over to his booth and didn't have a huge booth. He was kind of a small, like, you know, 8-foot table, and that was it. Didn't have a whole lot shown there, just a bunch of short boxes. And in those short boxes were a ton of early Spider-Man and X-Men. Some of them beat pretty good, but decent prices. I think he had an X-Men 51 for $15. It was way low grade, maybe a 1.0 raw, obviously. But he was a collector from forever. This guy was in his 60s. He has been collecting for, looks like, a long time, since the 70s. And he showed me some of the bigger books he had in his briefcase, which you'll see in the clip. And I didn't have enough firepower to buy any of those that he had in the briefcase, but I was happy to hold some of those books that he brought with him. So those were pretty cool. That really made the show for me. Again, a lot of gloomy kind of dealers and a lot of crappy offers. Walked away with some decent stuff, but in this video you'll see what he had brought with him, and maybe someday I can pick up one of those books. So check them out.
Cool.
You want to flip through them? Go ahead, because this is
I'll do a coin trick for you afterwards, and you can film that as well. No, there's Avengers #1, #2, #3, and then I've got FF1.
And what do you want for that one?
I haven't figured out, because it doesn't take much, but I mean, if you look at that, you can see there's been some restoration done on this. In fact, this one had the most. I bought 3 books from this guy way back in like 1988, and I think all 3 of them had some restoration done on them. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. I'd like to get.
Says all reasonable offers, so we'll see what we can get, right?
We'll see. This one, I really think this is a 6, so I'd be asking $2,400. This is somewhere in these grades. I don't know. It's probably closer to a 2.5. This is probably closer to a 2.5 as well. This one I'm leaning towards the 4 because I think it presents really well. I will tell you, there is a piece of tape on the inside of this cover which you don't see, and I don't understand why you don't. It's like right here. It's not that long.
But that won't give it a restoration, correct? The
no,
tape
this
could,
hasn't been. This hasn't had any
That's
restoration. That #10. This is a cool book because that Sue Storm pinup. That's like on the 3rd page or the 4th page.
That
of this.
one. Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
it's really pretty cool. Classic Hulk.
And what do you want for that one? 30. Wow.
Yeah, $32.50. What is that? Number 15. Oh, those are out of order.
Version.
He didn't put those in order right. But 14. This one is really nice. That one's in really good shape, I think. It's,
Too bad it's not $40 anymore, right?
yeah, that's what I paid for it back in the mid 80s or whatever.
Any other Doom covers? Oh, we got a nice sign.
Doom? Yeah, there's. This is a good one. That is actually just a really cool story.
Yes.
Yeah, I got this one. I got that one.
Memphis. Cool. Okay, pretty cool video. Joe, we'll call him. He has some great books, great comics. I think his pricing is a little high. I mentioned to him that I use Key Collector, and I showed him what that Avengers 1 was at in mid-grade, and he uses Overstreet, and he felt he was pretty in line with his pricing. I don't know. I wouldn't have paid $8,000 for Avengers 1. I'd probably maybe pay 4 or 5. Fantastic Four, he's not sure what he wanted for that one. That one was restored, he said, so that to me, I wouldn't pay much of anything for that book. You tell me your thoughts on that. I just think that anything restored, you got to get maybe 25% of the price of it, because if you do send it into grade, I appreciate he told me that. He seemed like a pretty truthful guy. It would just be a pretty penny to pay for that book, and knowing that it's going to be restored or come back restored if you did get it graded. So either way, I was happy to hold those. So yeah, let me know what you think about what I picked up. Did I do good? $60 for the 3 books here? Should I have done more? Again, I had 2 hours at the show. Should I have sold all of these for $100? Should I have bought Avengers 1 for $8,000 from Joe? What'd you think of Joe? So appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of those items, and we'll catch you on the next show, the next podcast, the next YouTube video, whether we are at a show, whether we are doing an unboxing. We appreciate you guys watching, so we'll see you on the next one. Peace.